Go to advancingAmericanFreedom.com. You'll see we spent a lot of time on it. Our organization has actually spent the better part of $10 million already in the last 4 months.
In Dr. Shah's position are often put in front of the media, and they have 12 seconds to respond to very difficult issues. And meanwhile, people are reading social media, and they're hearing this study and that study, and people say, what the hell is going on? So I hope we'll have a few minutes to get into a little bit more depth about some of the very serious issues surrounding COVID. Let me begin, and by the way, many of the questions that I'm going to ask Dr. Shah came from Facebook. We asked people to come up with, ideas that were on their minds.
Everyone, $200 bonus checks are being sent out right now to millions of Americans, and new financial assistance has been approved for low-income households. More and more people are showing their support for new inflation relief checks. And here is some big news. The New York governor has also announced that New York families on public assistance can expect an additional boost to their wallets this month to help cover back-to-school costs. The one-time payments come as inflation has tightened households' budgets across the country, making the annual shopping trip for notebooks, pencils, and backpacks a greater financial burden, particularly for low-income families. State officials begin distributing the money this week. Families on public assistance will receive $214 for each of their children. For each child of 3, families will receive $150. Public assistance provides cash to low-income families for up to 6 months who may have trouble meeting basic needs like housing. The extra help could provide some relief for families who had also benefited from the expanded child tax credit, which provided extra money to more families with children. The Rhode Island governor announced this week a one-time child tax rebate for families that will begin rolling out this fall. According to the governor, the rebate includes $250 per child for up to 3 children in a household and will automatically be sent to eligible families starting in October without any separate applications needed. Some 115,000 Rhode Island households are expected to receive the check. The governor told reporters, "Our administration is committed to targeting tax relief to Rhode Islanders as we continue to build on our state's economic momentum. Supporting parents and their children with Rhode Island's new child tax rebate is sensible and critical way to grow our economy." The policy was established, everybody, in the 2023 fiscal year. It will be administered by the Rhode Island Division of Taxation. The move comes amid skyrocketing inflation and stubbornly high gas prices, affecting many parts of the country. And now this is awesome news, as I know many people are currently struggling with inflation, especially with the rising cost of living. The State House Speaker has also noted that the state had a budget surplus and received federal funds to help pay for the program. To be eligible, individual filers in Rhode Island must earn $100,000 or less, and joint filers must earn $200,000 or less. Additionally, each resident must have claimed at least one child under the age of 18 as a dependent by December 31st, 2021 on income taxes.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the following Joint Committee on Taxation analysis that shows that families earning $75,000 to $100,000 are 4 times more likely to have a tax hike under this bill than a tax cut.
Without objection.
Thank you. I'm proud to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Kustoff.
The gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you. I thank the ranking member. Madam Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to what the Democrats called the Inflation Reduction Act, which is really the Inflation Expansion Act. Americans are grappling with an economy in recession and the highest inflation that we've seen in 40 years. We're experiencing worker shortages, empty grocery shelves, and higher energy prices. Now congressional Democrats are doubling down on this out-of-control spending that led to this economic crisis. This package that we're voting on today will raise taxes on hard-working middle-class families. It'll authorize 87,000 new IRS agents to target individuals and small businesses. It'll reduce life-saving healthcare innovation by allowing the government to impose price controls on drugs. It'll hurt energy producers, and it'll certainly worsen inflation. I'm voting against this fundamentally flawed and defective package because families, farmers, and small businesses across West Tennessee and across the nation.
Big progress is finally being made in Congress. Over 200 members in Congress are urging House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to pass a new bill immediately. Democrats are also joining and pushing for a new way to provide inflation relief. So watch until the end to learn how to receive your stimulus checks, everybody. Americans are looking for ways to help in the form of stimulus checks to fight the high gas prices and food prices. For some, state governments are offering special tax rebates. Many states have already passed legislation that will send money to citizens. Delaware officials said that they are planning to send $300 in direct payments to taxpayers in the state. It has been announced that the payments are part of the state's plan for using $1 billion surplus at a time when inflation is rising and gas prices are high. Lawmakers said they will introduce legislation within a week. A vote could happen next month. Officials say more than 600,000 Delaware residents are likely to receive these payments, which will cost $186 million. This new relief is not confirmed yet, everybody. And it has been confirmed that each Delaware taxpayer who filed a 2020 state tax return should have gotten a relief rebate of $300 beginning. Residents who have not filed a 2020 state tax return are eligible for the rebate. However, according to Forbes, instructions are anticipated to be announced by October 17th. You can also check your rebate status with the Delaware Department of Finance. There have been tax rebates sent out to citizens in the state of Idaho, United States, with these being issued to those individuals who were 4-year Idaho residents for 2020 and 2021. Now, it is expected there will be roughly 25,000 rebate payments that go out on a weekly basis, as the tax refunds that are already being sent out to eligible residents. By the end of 2022, the Tax Commission expects to have issued more than 800,000 tax rebates for a combined sum of up to $350 million. Now, staffers wrote to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They stated, "We have crafted a legislation necessary to avert climate catastrophe. It's time for you to pass this. Our country is nearing the end of a 2-year window that represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to pass some transformative climate policy. The climate and energy portion has remained the largest sticking point in negotiations. As Manchin has publicly stated, he wants to lower gas prices by increasing U.S. energy production. If you're going to have gas prices lower, produce energy, period," Manchin told reporters as he left the Senate vote. But for Democratic congressional staffers, passing more massive investments in clean energy tax credits to deal with the climate crisis is especially urgent. The letter also discusses about young staffers' fear of what will happen next if Democrats don't act to pass climate and energy measures.
20 years and reaching the age of 50. They pay a greater percentage of their salaries into this retirement system, and their annuity amount is calculated at a higher rate than other federal employees, recognizing the risks they take. Unfortunately, not all federal first responders can complete those 20 years of service. In cases where federal first responders become injured and are no longer able to complete the essential functions of their jobs, they can be placed in civil service positions that don't qualify for 6C benefits. Any federal first responder transferred to the FERS retirement system loses their eligibility to retire after 20 years of service, no matter how many years they've got in the system.